Hi, sixth graders, this is Mrs. Gaal. Yesterday we talked about how to find surface area of a rectangular prism, and we really emphasized the formula. Remember when we talked through this, we said that capital P means perimeter of the base, H means height of the figure, and B, capital B, means area of the base. So on this example that you already wrote down, we decided to use the top and bottom as the base, and on a rectangular prism, you really could pick any set as the base. So first we need to find the perimeter, which means adding up all four sides. That gave us 110. Then we gathered the height of the base, which was the distance between, the height of the prism, which is the distance between the two bases, which was 7. Then we did the area of the base, which was 34 times 21. Then we plugged those into the original formula. So we took the perimeter times the height, plus 2 times the area of the base, and we got 2,198. Using the formula, try this one. I'm going to go over the answer in just a moment. Press play if you'd like me to walk through it or when you're ready to hear the answer. Let's do this. Perimeter of the base. You could pick any set of bases here. I'm going to pick the top and the bottom. The perimeter of that would be 6 plus 3, which is 9, plus another 9, so 18. The height of the prism is the distance between our two bases, right here, 10. Plus 2 times the area of the base. Remember, I used this bottom rectangle as the base, so the area would be 6 times 3, 18. Let's place those into our calculator now. 8 times 10 is 180. Plus 2 times 8, 18, which is 36. I get 216 centimeters squared. Try this last one on your own, and I'm not going to give the answer. I want you to try this. It's on your paper, and we'll talk about the answer tomorrow in class. Press pause while you work and play when you're ready to continue. Let's move on to our next type of prism, which is a triangular prism. This is where our bases are triangles. There's two ways we could go about this. Really quickly, I'm going to talk through how to find area of each base. So we could start by finding area of our triangles. Remember, when we're finding an area of triangles, we take base times height and divide by 2. And then we have two triangles, so we double it. So we kind of reverse the dividing by 2 there. So I take 15 times 8, base times height, and divide by 2. I get 60 for one triangle. So if I have two triangles, I'm up to 120 for their areas. The rest of the shapes on this prism are rectangles, so I don't need to divide by 2 for the rest. To find area of this back rectangle, I could take 8 times 9 to get 72. To find area of this bottom, I would take 15 times 9 to get 135. And to find area of this top rectangle, 17 times 9, which gives us 153. After I find area of all the different sides, I could add that together to get my final surface area, which is 480 millimeters squared. Now I'm going to talk through how the formula applies to this one, which I'll go a little bit slower on so you can really write down this process. If you can, try to make this triangular prism for me. It's a right triangle, and then just go up into the diagonal a little bit and create the same one again, and then connect same corner to same corner and add in the different dimensions. Press pause because that will take you a little bit of time. It's the same formula. It's just going to be a little bit different because our bases are no longer rectangles. Our bases are triangles. So let's see how that's going to be different for us. Perimeter of the base is still what capital P stands for, H is still what height stands for, and B is still area of the base, the capital B. Perimeter of our base, we have to use a triangle because the rectangles cannot be bases here. How do I find perimeter of that triangle? 8 plus 15 plus 17. I add them together. Write that step down. When we add them, we get 40. Now let's find height of the figure. Height of the figure is the distance between the two bases. So in this case, it's 9. And then we find area of the base, which is how much space is taken up inside our triangle. To find area of a triangle, we take base times height, and then we divide by 2 because it's a triangle. When I take 15 times 8 and divide by 2, I get 60. Now we plug those numbers into the formula. 40 times 9 plus 2 times 60. When I plug that into my calculator, I should get the same thing from the last slide, 480 millimeters squared. You try the one that's on your paper. Press play when you're ready to hear me walk through the answer. Your bases are your triangles, so we need to find perimeter of the triangles, the height of the figure, and then the area of the triangles because that's your base. Perimeter of your triangles would be 12 plus these two sides, which if I look at the back of the figure are both 10. So 12 plus 10 plus 10 gives us 32. Height of the figure is the distance between your two bases right here, 15, plus 2 times area of the base. Your triangles are your bases. To find area of the triangle, you take base times height of the triangle, 12 times 8, and then divide by 2, because that's how we find area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. That's 48. Now I plug that into a calculator, which I'm going to do now. 32 times 15 plus 2 times 48, I get 576 meters squared. Oops, meters. Can't forget the meters. There we go. You try the last one on your paper, press pause as you work. We'll go over that answer tomorrow in class. There's one last type I want to go through today, which is your cylinders. Cylinders have a little bit of a longer formula. We need our radius, our height, and our radius again. You'll want to write this down in your notebook, so press pause. To draw this, you draw 2 circles directly stacked on top, and then connect them with 2 straight lines. You guys, a friendly reminder that diameter is the entire way across a circle. So radius is halfway across the circle. So if I give you diameter, you just find half of that to get radius. To solve this, I'm just going to take the radius and the height and plug them into my formula. So I need 2 times pi times the radius, which we found out was 3, times the height. The height is the height of the figure, the distance between the 2 circles, which is 13. And I add that to 2 times pi times the radius squared, which was 3 squared. I now plug that into my formula, or into my calculator. 2 times pi times 3 times 13 plus 2 times pi times 3 squared. I get a long decimal, 301.6 centimeters squared. You try the last one that's on your paper. Make sure you have the radius before you begin. When you're done with your paper. Please hold on to it until tomorrow.